Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good night. Hey, what's going on? Welcome to another stream here on the Aviator 268 channel. What's going on, Javon? Welcome. Bro. It's good to see you. We are in Sydney, Australia, flying the Airbus A320. And we have a couple of traffic on the ground. You got a FENIX on the other side there. We got a Qantas Link right beside us here, and we are on stand 49. So we're getting ready to head over to Brisbane for tonight, well, this evening. Actually, it's this morning over here in Sydney. So we're going to take a nice little morning stroll over to the northeast to Brisbane, Australia. Aircraft is on the gate and pretty much set up to the point where we're just going to go and get into the flight deck and get the aircraft loaded. So we have 25 minutes on the clock. Let's get our mass and balance going. And we have 180 passengers for today. We're going to be taking 2.2 tons in terms of our cargo, and our planned fuel is 7.3 tons. To go there and load the aircraft, it's going to take about 27 minutes thereabout, so we are good to go. We're going to let GSX do its thing, and while we do that, we will go ahead and get our FMC, or in this case the MCDU, get that going. Like, before we do that, let's look at our flight plan. So today we are JST814, and our aircraft is Victor Hotel Victor Golf Foxtrot. Estimated departure is 2240. We may not get that one. We may be a little bit later than that. So estimated time of arrival is about 12 minutes after 100 hours. That's the way to put it. So Sydney to Brisbane, and this is the 466 knots with a cost index of 45, and the winds are 252 at 051 at a cruise altitude of flight level 350. So this is all the information here on our flight. 3.2 tons for an hour and 12 minutes, and so we should have a planned fuel at the gate of 7.3 tons that will be loaded onto the aircraft. And so fuel truck is in position, and so that is gonna start boarding our fuel shortly. All right, let's see now our weather charts. Nothing out of the way for aircraft. We have tailwinds all the way up, so that will help to speed along our flight. Just an hour and 14 minutes. An hour 40 minutes gate to gate. So we see how we can get there earlier than that. Our weather today out of Sydney, we have some showers in the area, winds 240 at 14. The real world is using runway 16 right, so we're going to go ahead and use that, which is very close to where we're parked at the moment, rather than having a taxi all the way down to runway 34 right. So it should be a short taxi over to the runway, and the QNH is 10. Let's see, QNH is 1034. So 260 at 10, three clouds at 1,700, scattered at 4,000, broken at 5,500. Temperature 2.09, and the altimeter is 101. So we have 1033, sorry, 1033. So that's just 4. So we have refueling going on right now, so we see that happening. But beautiful. All that is well done. All right, so let's get the FMC started out. And for today's flight, I'm going to be using my iPad, so I will not be necessarily looking too much, or you won't see my mouse doing much movement here. And we Jetstar 814. the beauty of having the browser where you can simply use an iPad versus having to. So sometimes if we'll be right here, facing forward, and or I'm on the EFB in-house, and I'll be just doing my thing on my iPad. Makes it real convenient for flight. The costing is 45 and the cruise altitude 0. Put that in. So then we go, so that's with diff. So then we go flight plan, departing off of runway 16, right? To Sydney 3, insert, then we go to my VPN, and if we look at the arrival as it stands right now, 210 at 11, so that means we will be doing the Aylex runway 19 left. Let's look at the chart. Let's look at the chart for Brisbane. So 19 left. Yeah, we take 19 left versus 19. So 19 left. And not using a star. And that's so. Let's just double check. B. Yeah, that's so. Let's see what the arrival ones are. Oh. We could possibly take that. Right, so fueling is done, so let's go ahead and turn on all the overheads. And we can get the APU started. 1, 2, 4 seconds. And there we go. I really love the GSX integration. It makes it so much easier. You can focus on this. You do not necessarily have to think about starting the boarding and so on. It's not for every developer. They don't have that integration. They do have GSX as part of the package, but I really like how it is done with the FENIX. And I know FS Labs as well, they do that. So it makes it more streamlined where you don't have to worry about putting or paying attention. You just start it and it's done. All right, great. So we're gonna do 19 left at so we can insert that, and then let's look at our flight plan as we go through. So we leave out of Sydney. Off running 16 right, it is Sydney 3, that is to Oslam, traveling up the coast, and then we have to all the way to Brisbane VOR. I'm not seeing anything. Actually, yes, Gamal. So we can actually use an arrival, which is Gamal 4 Alpha, because that would take us to Gamal and then bring us over there. So we'll actually do that. Let's revisit. Let's revisit our flight plan. Or Victor. What? There's so many of them. Let's see. Alright, we'll take 4 Alpha. It's the runway 1 and it takes us right to Betso, so we'll use that. So 4 Alpha to Betso. Insert that. Check it. From Gamal, we follow the to Waesto for runway 1. Perfect. Great. So that's it. Let's review the departure charts. So for the Sydney 3, let's see if there probably isn't one. So we'll just take it to the transition. It's 10,000. Okay. See if the sun can come on now, and we can go to lead. There, lovely. Alright, so we've done that now. Diffs rip. So we check our radios. Radios are fine. We don't necessarily have to put it there. They're auto. And we go to secondary flight plan. Copy the flight departure. In the event that we have to come around, we have this to do a return. Perfect. So that is set. And our next thing is to do, let's go to the messages with a load sheet in it. And so your fuel weight is going to be 61.7. Your fuel weight CG is 32. So checking about this, we're going to take a second. Check that we have just an hour and 11 minutes without any headwind adjusting. So we're going to account for the headwind now and put in plus 2.5. Bring us down to 1 hour and 8 minutes. And for our reserve, ultimate, we have 1.5. So that 7, so 1.7 is alternate. $3.8, so let's put 3.8 there. We have 0.6. Okay. Perfect. So let's accept that. Then this rip. So we go to our first page. And in order to do that, let's go to our EFB. We're using runway 16 right. It is dry. Let's load the preliminary sheet. We'll leave everything as is. Double check the weather, 10.34. And we will calculate. So we have these speeds of 157, 157, 158, 1 down 2.5, and effective of 70. So V1 is 7. See how fast we're doing. 11 minutes on the clock. We got 74 out of 180. Right? Everything appears looking good, looking good, looking good. All right, so let's do the departure briefing real quick while we are sitting waiting for that. So we're departing today out of Sydney, and we are parked at stand 49 if our system will load up. We'll push back and start taxi off of the gate and go to runway 17, actually 16, right? The current weather in the area is wind 260 at 10, and there's no gusts. There's few clouds at 1700, few clouds at 4000, broken at 5000, temperature 12, QNH 1034. There we go. So as you were saying, push back out the gate and we go tail south, then taxi via Charlie, then Charlie holds short of Bravo 1 or Bravo 2, and then we make our departure. Sydney now uses CTAF, so the CTAF 120.5. Let's see which one it is because there are two of them here. So let's get 120.5. Go. And let's do a radio check. Sydney traffic, good morning. Jetstar 814 radio check. Everybody here is no, there's nobody here using CTAP at the moment. Nevertheless, we'll keep it because we got to practice using what that is. All right, great. So continuing our departure briefing, so we are going to be using the Sydney 3 departure, which is a radar vector, but we don't have any ATC on at the moment. So we'll take off as per the instructions. Initial climb, we will take off on runway 16 right, track 155 degrees. At 600 or 800 feet for jet aircraft, turn to the assigned heading track. Expect radar vectors, aircraft cleared via Malta, Awesome, or Wallum. I forgot that what that one is. See the special requirement, which is A. So let's see what that says. Aircraft cleared via the Awesome, which is where we are. We must reach flight level 100 by 156 nautical miles by Lavender, and we will be probably higher than that before we get there. The MSA is 2700, so we would maintain 3000 if we have any issues, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. So we departed from via the Sydney 3. Upon departure, at or below V1, we will stop for anything that's going to cause the aircraft to not fly. Any ICAS warning, any fire on the ICAS. I will call a stop and close the thrust levers, and we will come to a complete stop. Assess the situation. If needs be, we will either taxi onto the taxiway, come back to the gate, or we will hold on the taxiway on the runway and call for assistance. At above V1, we'll climb straight ahead, up to 3,000 feet. Then we'll assess once we're in the air. And if needs be, we'll make a right turn right downwind, come back to runway 16 right. Then we'll just inform those who are on us what our intentions are. Other than that, we have a good ship. There are no MEL issues. We have a pretty decent ship with us this morning. If there aren't any questions, no other threats that are in the area. Other than that, we are good to go. Alright, so the briefing is complete. Let's go to our checklist and run the upper conversion checklist. The gear pins and covers are removed. Fuel quantity is 7.3 tons. Seatbelt signs on. ADIRS, nav, and bar references 1034 and checked on both. Checklist is complete. We have just a few more passengers to board, 140 out of 180. That's doing pretty good. Bags are done. See that their heads coming up. Don't hit your head, people. These tall guys, huh? Tall people problem. We're just about done here, so we can talk to passengers. Let's jump up on board JST814 service to Brisbane. Flight time is going to be 1 hour and 14 minutes to try to see if we can get you there on time or even faster than that. The flight attendants are here primarily for your safety. We ask that you pay attention to their instructions and all will go well. You know you have other choices for travel. We thank you for choosing Jetstar, and we'll be closing up here in a few minutes. So welcome aboard. Great, so that's done. So we're just waiting now for the 30 passengers to board and get out of here. They're still using good. I might get cussed at. Sometimes it's weird because there are some people online, for example, if there are controllers online, they'll go strictly based on the wind. So currently the wind is 260 at 10. Technically that favors runway 34. Okay, now so we got your traffic. So ADIS is now available. Let's see what the ADIS is. 1855. Just had to open my big mouth, huh? Let's see, 18550. Let's hear what that is going to say. So what I was about to say a while ago, guys, is that there are times when the real world is doing one thing, and in the simulator world, they're doing something totally different. So let's see what the ADIS says. If it works, there isn't anything up. Actually requested from here. The Sydney ground is
Sydney Terminal Information Alpha. Expect instrument approach. Runway 34 left and right for arrivals and departures.
See?
Independent parallel departures in progress. Wind 260 degrees. 10 knots. Visibility greater than 10 kilometers. Clouds due 1,700 feet. Scattered 4,000 feet. Temperature 12. QNH 1034. On first contact with Sydney ground or approach, notify receipt of information alpha.
So information alpha, he doesn't have a text
Time
version.
check 2248.
So there isn't a text version, so we can't see it here. But they're using runway 34, so we gotta switch. Such is life. So let's make that adjustment. Go back to our flight plan and departing runway 34. 34, right. And we can use the Ulsem 1 departure. Insert that. So we gotta recheck our data. So let's check this now. Our departure is going to be the 1. And we can remove the Sydney 3, so let's rebrief that. And we can departure is runway 3. Sync that, check the weather, and calculate. So our new V speeds from 1.15 something to now 1.37, 1.39, 1.42. Let's use flat 1. Interesting, use flat 2. So 140 when we have more than enough runway. So 140, 141, 142. So let's just change that. 140, 141, 2. Flex 10 is 62. 1 is 70 degrees. Perfect. So rebriefing real quick for our new departure. We're now using the Awesome 1 departure. So initial climb with track 335, and then at 500 feet we will make a right turn, intercept the track 023 to Hallas. Then at Hallas we turn right to track 060 to intercept the track 038 to Awesome, and then flight plan route. So let's go ahead and call up the ground, which is 121.7, 21.7. Sydney ground, good morning. Jetstar 814 stand 40 to 8320. Information Alpha requesting Kurt to Brisbane.
Yssy-Ybbn, Sydney ground, good morning. You are cleared to Brisbane via Olsen 500, runway 34 right. Olsen 1 departure. Climb posted 5 to Athens, squawk 4321.
321, let's go. 34 right for departure, 5000 industrial, squawk 4321, Jetstar 814.
Yssy-Ybbn, thanks to confirm Olsen 1 departure.
Olsen 1 departure, Jetstar 814.
Yssy-Ybbn.
Alright, so 5,000 on the initial. Everybody's on board. Yes, shake that for that, and we close that. And alright, so let's do the flows now to get the aircraft ready for departure. Turn on those. Keep the takeoff on the left side. Load sheet accepted. 60.7. 2, 60.7. 72.2, so that's correct. So go. Right side, left side is perfect. Alright, so everything is set up here. We need to now turn on the beacon, and GSX will do its thing.
Locking gear.
See the jet bridge gonna retract itself there. Good. And let's do the before start check. The sparking brake is set. Takeoff speed is 140, 141, 142. 1 down 0.4, flex step 62. Windows close and lock beacon is on. First GS is complete. And we'll go tail left. Nose right. Cool. Push back. Good. Alright, second brake is released. And we can start the timer.
All engines clear. Start at will.
Roger, we start at will. Start engine number 2, then engine number 1. Let's start engine number 2. Wing view for this pushback.
Ladies and gentlemen, please observe the cabin crew member closest to you as we are about to demonstrate the safety features of our Airbus A320 aircraft.
When I'm flying an Airbus, I like to pay attention to see when, after the engines have started, for the hydraulics to take over so that the ailerons can actually become available.
Gentlemen, welcome aboard our Airbus A320. Please pay attention to illuminated signs and crew instructions following safety
Parking
procedures.
brake set.
The card found in your seat pocket contains important information about exit routes, oxygen masks, life
There we go.
jackets,
So
and
they're
the
now
brace position.
hydraulics.
914 opposition.
Alright, we got available on the right side. Let's start engine number 1. Since this is an IAE, that. IAE takes me just a little bit longer to start up. So yo, inconsistent. What's going on, brother? Pins away, and we are good to go. That is 2 good starts. We are just waiting for the avail on the upper ECAM. Go. Generator's on and available. Good to go. Alright, so we do that. So let's run through the flows real quick. And let's get 0.4 down. And then we can run. Flight control is checked. Fully right. Left, neutral, pull up, pull down, neutral, we're on the left, and on the right. Neutral. Those would like to see that on the outside. Right, left, neutral, up, neutral, on the left, neutral. What's going on, Aaron? Welcome, brother. Welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you. Right. After flows, start flows have been checked. We can now run the start checklist. And test that required ECAM is checked. This trim is 0.4 down, rudder trim is neutral and reset. The after start checklist is complete. 814, go ahead.
914, please request pushback, sir. Or pushing back to your flight pushback.
We apologize. We already pushed back and we're ready to taxi in just 1 minute.
It's 914, pushback approved.
Yep. See, that's the difference in a lot of these places. In one area, you can't push back before you ask. So in some areas, it's, and I suppose this is a movement area because it's on taxiway Charlie, I think this is. So that is my bad. So I should have requested pushback. Nevertheless, you live, you learn. Not a big deal, so to speak. So we'll just remember for next time. Alright, so we are good to go. Taxi checklist is flight control is checked. Flap setting is 1 plus F, and that is checked. And radar and predictive wind shear is set on an auto, 1 on auto. Engine mode selector is normal. Econ mode is take off. Not yet. We got take off, no blue. Cabin is not ready. So we are good to go.
Hi, Captain. The cabin is now secure for takeoff.
Thank you. Alright, great. So in this case, we did not actually rebrief the potential taxi. So now, more than likely, it's gonna be Charlie, cross runway 25, continue Charlie, take Charlie down to Tango. Let's see, that's what we do. Sydney, ground, Jetstar 814, ready to taxi.
814 taxi, Charlie Holshore, runway 25.
Charlie Holshore 25, Jetstar 814. So we are ready to go. Taxi light on and the runway. And let's get out of here. Parking brake is released. And let's go. Brake check. 0. Is that correctly?
Jetstar 814 on Charlie, cross runway 25 at your own discretion, no reported or observed traffic. Then continue taxi Hong Kong Bravo correction, then continue taxi Charlie Bravo 10 Holshore, yeah.
Cross Charlie, cross 2025 at Charlie, Charlie Bravo 10 Sierra Delta, correction, Jetstar 814. Crossing here, so let's get our road lights coming on. Left, right. We'll continue. Sunshine. Basically what we actually said. Sometimes you get what you would have said, other times your traffic control decides to just do basically like that, which is fine because they're the control. So we try as much as possible to follow the instructions. If unable, you just simply say unable and request something else. There are sometimes the scenery does not match up. I know a good example of that is Chicago. Chicago has the width. Isn't there somebody doing Chicago as well? A new Chicago should be coming out if it's not already out. Anyways, so Chicago has, it's just weird. There's so many taxiway changes and they're just not updated. So you just have to transit.
Will be closing in 3 minutes.
Wow. There goes that FedEx 777 Lima. Just came on. to say hello, and that's okay. We appreciate it. And then we're gonna make a left here on Bravo 10 onto Sierra. Right, onto Sierra.
It's JST814 monitor station F120.5. Have a good flight.
Thank you so much for coming on for us this evening. It's great to have the ground controller on the stream tonight. You have a good day. Bye-bye. Take Sierra, which is this next left. Correction, next right. Sierra goes into Tango, and we take Tango down to the end. These IAE engines are so powerful. We're taxiing at 23 knots, and the aircraft is actually idle. Alright, to rebrief the departure, so we're departing off with the Olsen 1, which is take off 500 feet, make right turn to Aylex, make right turn to Olsen, then flatland route. At a below V1, we stop anything on the ICAS, the ECAP will render this aircraft unflappable. At above V1, we take the problem into the air, and we will assess it, determine if we continue. If not, we will return, and we have the secondary flight plan in place so that we can do the ILS run. Actually, no, we do not. So because we changed, the secondary flight plan should also change. So it's completely active, and we use my iPad in this case. My eyes on the road. So after 500 feet. This is that impulse should need to return. So that secondary flight line is cool. Clean the cabin. Slow down. Line up takeoff runway is runway 34 right. TCAS is TARA. Press button 2 on it, and the takeoff runway checklist is complete. Clear to the right. Clear to the left. What's going on? Chat, we're ready to go. We're ready to go here. Lights coming on. One more check on the outside. Airplane looks pretty good. You can snap one picture. Look at that exhaust. So that's great. That be good. Excuse me. Alright, let's go 50%. Start timer. Stable. And flex 62 SRS when the auto thrust is first set. Crossers pushing the aircraft. 80 knots. Rotate. Cross with right. 9 feet, right turn. City traffic, got started at 14, clear runway 34 right with an awesome departure. Passing 800. Time for level 350, last connected traffic hit. First climb. Let's see if you can see Sydney Harbor. Yep. There is the Opera House. It's as beautiful as it is. Oh, that's coming up. This is what happens when you go sightseeing while you're flying. Not a good thing. That is a beautiful shot right there. Up and we're good to go. We will do standard pressure. Video. 10,000 feet, 1,000 miles. Oops. My considerably high pressure. So there's a while ago, by the time we quit the standard, pressure fell out a little bit. The difference in the elevation has changed. Aircraft didn't know which way to go up or down with the speed. Eat it. There's big shape. Jetstar is one of the low-cost carriers over in Australia, and this is their 10th anniversary paint. So we are flying Victor Hotel, Victor Foxtrot. For the most part, I like to use special paints. It makes it unique. Not very many people will fly them. There are persons who do the very same thing I do. It's not unique where that is concerned. But for the most part, I like to use special paints, and this is a pretty nice one, where it's not just a regular gray, it's fully orange, so to speak. And then you have this paint for low bears ever. And on the other side, it is Jetstar generators. A321, correction, A320 IAE engines, and as we saw a while ago, the IAE engines are pretty powerful. They look smaller than the CFMs based on how they're made, but you can kind of put that to the 757 as well for the Rolls Royce, where we're on the ground, brakes are released, and the aircraft started moving. The CFMs, you might need to, especially on a heavy aircraft, you may need to add a little breakaway first just so that you can start moving. But these engines are pretty powerful that even on taxi, once you release the brakes, the airplane begins moving. So we're still climbing up to flight level 350. just passed flight level 208, and we can see some weather on the radar, but we should not have an issue on the way up. We just had a couple of bumps passing through flight level 180. We still kind of have them. If you can see, the aircraft is still dipping up and down, but it's smoothing out as we go up to altitude. We do have tailwinds, so that's probably too why we're having this bouncing and this bobbing and weaving, because we have that tailwind from our left quadrant. So I wouldn't be surprised if this ground speed goes above 500 once we get to altitude. Currently at 0.7, and our cruise is going to be 0.79. So I really wouldn't be surprised if that comes close to 500 if it doesn't get 353 miles to go. Should be a good ride. Hope everybody's having a pretty good Monday. It is July 7th. Did you say no? July 6th. Dates a mix up. So, July 6th, and it is a beautiful. It's probably Tuesday right now in Australia. So it's Tuesday morning. So there are any Aussies out there to you. Still bouncing around here for level 260. Wow. change. We're getting almost a direct crossing, so speed is dropped a bit. We'll see what happens when we get to altitude. But our winds probably showed that. Let's see. But we should be getting that. So we get that cross. So we see how accurate the sim is with the sim brief coming out as well. So we're seeing that kind of a 340, we have that almost direct crosswind coming from the left side. But with the speed up 0.79, we should be able to get a little bit more. This what happens. Currently 316 miles out. So we sit back and relax. Seems to be smoothing out now, so we can turn on the zebra sign. Pretty sure that's what we're smoothing out. Smooth, yeah. It's becoming more smooth. There we go. $1,000 to go. Hotstar. Oh. 3-0. We all go up to 0.79 here now, and let's see how much our speed is going to be. We're seeing this this crosswind where our plane is tilted as it goes along the green line. So 474, and we're getting up to 0.78, so we might actually hit that 500. Might. holding at $487 knots across the ground. 216 left to go. And we are doing 400. Rick? $200 miles from our destination. Let's just review the track to make sure that we have everything in our menu. So we are to cross Salga and it's 2 fires and lights here. I'm going to top of the sun is at 88 nautical miles, so let's go ahead and make our reviews now. So current gross weight is 65.4 tons. Let's get our performance, landing performance. Only 19 left. The weather is currently 210 at 13. 17, 10, 28, so let's apply that. And we said 60, what did I say? 65.4. So let's be 65.2. Maximum landing weight is 64. Oh, so we are over just a bit. That is interesting. So low brake. I wonder if we could. No, we can't dump. And what a time for that? Let's see. 64.5. So we're going to be over our maximum landing weight. Let's see what happens. I'm willing to push that. Wouldn't do it on a regular day, but let's see what happens with that. All right, 64.5. So yeah, 65.2. Let's get the information here. So QNH is 1028. 1028. The temperature is 17. Wind is 210, 13. And we're gonna do 4. And for the Aylex, so we're not for a minute. On the chart, the Aylex says that we are using a 220. 220 and our approach check is our approach page is complete. So 64 to 22 nautical miles away from top of the descent, we will begin descending approximately 30 miles up, and we're using 1. So we're landing in for the arrival brief. We're landing in Brisbane, and we're using the Gummo for arrival for runway 1 left. Over Gummo. We make left 339 towards Mekog, then to Salad, crossing Salad below flight number 120 but above 9,000. Then on a heading 351 to Salga, to cross Salga at 9,000. Then Yssy-Ybbn, make it left 309 to Umgov above 5,000. Then left turn 234 to Betso, where we will join the localizer. Runway 19 left. At Betso we should be at maximum 185, but we're going to be there at 180 as we normally would for final approach. On the Aylex, it is 110.10 and at 110.10 IBS is the identifier. Final approach course 196. Our glide slope should be at or above 1650. Anticipated height is 220. Airport elevation is 15. Should we go miss? Track 190 at Burgundy or 2.2 the India Bravo Sierra upbound and not below 500. We'll turn left, track 166 degrees, climb 4000 or as directed by ATC. If anything, we just make another approach for this runway 19. So in our secondary flight plan, we're going to update the objective. 1, 2, 1. And we're going to just ensure that we have an approach to simply re-enter once if we have to go. So that's already set. We have already copied that secondary flight plan. And so we see where the info is in. Should we need to reshoot the approach? Great. Landing only 19 left. Once we landed 19 left, we will exit off of, let's see, below final approach speed, we should Alpha 6, if not Alpha 6, then we do Alpha 7, then backtrack and get ourselves to 28. Stand 28, so we'll exit off of Alpha for Alpha 7 and Alpha to Bravo 5, then Bravo 5 Charlie 3 Tango to the gate 28. Current weather in Brisbane is wind 21013 and fuel clouds at 4,500. 17 is the degrees and 1028. So let's get 1028 in here. 1028 is set. And we have a break low. And we are now at 27 miles. So let's begin to set up to 1,000. Seatbelt sign coming on. Ladies and gentlemen, flight, this is your captain speaking. We are about to start our descent. Current weather in Brisbane is a few clouds scattered and temperature is 17 degrees. Winds coming in from the west southwest. Coming from the southwest rather, with some light breeze. It was a pleasure having you on board Jetstar today. We hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Flight attendants prepare the craft before arrival. Okay, so that's done. Let's begin with our managed descent. And we're 91 miles from our landing. descending through file number 270. Let's get the detail for Brisbane. Already have that. Descending through file level 240 and the turbulence has returned. Superstar is already on, so we're good to go. Let's do open descent. And I'm going to increase this speed. So we can get down to altitude. We need to cross Salga at 9,000, so increase our speed so that we can get back on profile. So we missed that, but let's see how best we can get down to 9,000. We may, kind of high, but let's see what happens. Slow to 280 and then we'll deploy some speed brake. Once we get past Salgo, we'll just make a continuous descent, and we will bring our speed back. We want to try as much as possible to get down to 210 knots below. We don't want to really bust through 9,000 at 10,000 feet with more than 250 knots, but this is what we can do once we cross Salga. May have to deviate from the flight path, but we'll see what happens. Passing flight level 145 now, and we are 5 miles from Salga and descending. Speed breakers out. Tailwind is what causes us not to be able to descend fast enough. It's a challenge, but we'll make it. Alright, coming up to 10,000 feet, so we'll pull our speed back to 250. Standard set. Local is 120 at 1028. Let's go to 120 at 120.5. Basement traffic, Jetstar 814, descending through 9,600 for 6,000 on the column 4 Alpha arrival. Come on. So we're not doing too badly, but we will need to slow down just a little bit more. But we'll maintain 250 as long as we can, and then once we make that left turn, we'll try. Well, we'll probably have to deviate just a bit so we can bleed off this airspeed and also the altitude. Beautiful. So let's reduce speed now to 230. We're just about getting on path, which is good. We want to make sure that we're going to be at a proper speed, so that's why we're off the flight path at the moment. Just want to make sure that that green dot comes back up, and we'll continue this to 4,000, and we're looking good. So we can now make that left turn and go direct to Waesto, and then we can manage our speed from there. So direct Waesto, and we can go back to manage descent as we're now below, which is good. Waesto. 2 miles from the field. We will on the approach shortly. On the localizer shortly.
Hi, Captain. The cabin is now secure for landing.
Roger, thank you so much. You are picking up. That approach checklist, BARF is set to 20, seatbelt sign minimum set. BARF is 1028, seatbelt sign set on minimum 220, auto brake is set to low, engine mode center is low. Arm localizer, speed now down to 1. So speed brakes out. Check box 1. Localizer alive. Localizer is also alive. On the guys up. Localizer captured. Looks dark. Lights up. Blue. Feature clap 2. Low speed brake. Brisbane traffic, Jetstar 814 is 13 miles on the field on the localizer runway 19. Brisbane. Fly soap stop. Fly soap captured. Get up. Down at 3. Activate plan approach. On the altitude in case we go miss. That's full. And then the checklist. Checklist. Cam hello. Ending. There's no blue. Brisbane traffic, Jetstar 814 is 8 mile final runway 19 left, Brisbane. Land, everybody's good. Back inside, and we are good to go.
1,000.
Okay. I think that'll be great. Very different from the CFM. You can hear it while it's here on the run. That's nice. Sometimes, well, depending on how good the person does in terms of the developer, you don't really hear the airplanes mentioned. But these sound pretty good. FENIX did a really, really good job. Check. Prison traffic, let's start 4 sharp
500.
Okay.
400. 300. 200. 100 above. 50. 40. 30. Retard. 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 Retard.
There we go. Reverse.
Retard. Retard.
Manual braking. And exit Alpha 7. Aaron, thank you so much. That felt really nice indeed. That was a better landing from yesterday's flight. Alpha. Let's do 23. Not sure why. That's interesting. I don't know which one that is. I know it's date 28. Oh, so it's not an actual jet bridge. So it's just an. Alright, we can live with that. So we get to see the passengers disembark on a bus, I suppose. APU is available. On 28. So this was where I was supposed to come from. So as that's coming off. We can get it. Woo. Ow. Definitely get it. Almost ran it over. Marketplace coming on. And hour and 31. Hour and 40 minutes or 10 minutes early. Not bad at all. Not bad. Sounds coming off. And with that, guys, we have arrived to Brisbane. Good, good. I was about to say you're gonna just take off my wing. This one might do that. 1 hour, easy. Definitely was a nice fight today, Aaron. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for staying. It was great fun with you guys this evening. Going over to Brisbane from Sydney. flight time an hour and 31 minutes. The actual gate to gate was 1 hour and 40 minutes. So we got 10 minutes early, which is great. And so now we are going to disembark the passengers from the airplane. And as always, I do appreciate you guys for joining in today. If you haven't already done so and you are enjoying the content, please consider leaving a like. Also, if you haven't subscribed, do send a subscription as well. We do appreciate the support. Once you hit the subscription button, also hit the notification bell so you never miss the next time that we go live. There's also a Discord available. If you guys are into Discord, there's a Discord available. You can do !Discord and you get the link directly to the Discord channel. There you can always interact with me once we are not flying. If you have a request on where you want to see us fly to, you can do that in the Discord as well. Give me some ideas to go to different places across our globe. Until the very next time, guys, I hope you enjoyed this stream. It was a pleasure flying with you over to Brisbane on the A320 for Jetstar. Please continue to enjoy yourself and take care.